The International Committee of the Red Cross has received 3 Israeli detainees as part of the 6th phase of the detainees exchange deal between Palestinian factions and Israel. The 3 detainees have arrived at the initial reception point in southern Israel. The detainees, Russian-Israeli Alexandra Trofanov, Argentine-Israeli Yair Horn, and US-Israeli Sagai Dekel Chen, were previously identified by Hamas. Meanwhile, Hamas expects negotiations for the 2nd phase of the ceasefire agreement in Gaza to begin early next week. Hamas has said that the release of the 6th group of Israeli detainees confirms that negotiations and adherence to the ceasefire deal are the only ways to secure their freedom. The group accused Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of stalling and trying to evade the deal's obligations to serve his political interests. Hamas stressed that it secured guarantees from mediators before resuming the exchange process and vowed not to allow the agreement to fail. A bus carrying freed Palestinian detainees has arrived in Ramallah in the West Bank, following their release as part of the 6th phase of the detainees exchange deal. The Palestinian Detainees Media Office reported that 36 detainees serving life sentences have been freed, along with 333 detainees from Gaza who were arrested after October the 7th, 2023. Labour and Socialist parties across the UK have called for nationwide protests against Donald Trump's plan to displace Palestinians from Gaza. In recent days, these parties, along with trade unions and university students, have organised demonstrations condemning what they describe as Trump's ethnic cleansing plan. Protesters demand that Palestinians remain in their homeland, call for Israel to be held accountable for war crimes, and urge the UK government to cut ties with Israel. The Egyptian Prime Minister has reaffirmed Egypt's unwavering support for Palestine's right to self-determination and statehood. That comes as President Mahmoud Abbas praised Egypt's consistent stance and commitment to defending Palestinian rights. He also expressed hope that the upcoming Arab summit on February 27th would reinforce support for Palestine, ensuring a strong regional and international stance amid ongoing developments. That came during their meeting in Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, at the 38th Ordinary Session of the African Union Summit. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has praised mediators for their role in maintaining the ceasefire in Gaza. Speaking at the African Union Summit in Addis Ababa, Guterres called for the truce to be upheld and for all detainees to be released.
As a result of the continuation of the M23 offensive,
as we've been hearing, the 38th African Union Summit has begun in Addis Ababa, with Angola presiding over the 2-day conference. The summit is set to discuss major issues affecting the continent, including the ongoing war on Gaza, food security, digital transformation, climate change, and economic integration among member states. Lebanese Interior Minister Ahmed al-Hajjar has announced that the arrest of 25 individuals linked to last night's attack on UNIFIL has taken place. The UNIFIL convoy was attacked near Beirut's Rafik Hariri International Airport. That came as protesters, angered by the denial of landing rights to an Iranian plane, blocked roads and torched 3 UNIFIL vehicles, including 2 peacekeepers. Al-Hajjar vowed a serious investigation, emphasizing law enforcement's commitment to security and preventing unlawful protests. UNIFIL in Lebanon has confirmed that its outgoing deputy commander was injured and a convoy came under attack while en route to Beirut Airport. The mission called the assault a flagrant violation of international law that could be classified as a war crime. UNIFIL urged the Lebanese government to conduct an immediate and thorough investigation to hold the perpetrators accountable. Lebanon Security Council, led by Interior Minister Ahmed Hajjar, has convened an emergency meeting to assess the country's security situation following the attack on UNIFIL peacekeepers. Hajar condemned the attack, calling it a serious crime that threatens stability. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has warned against one-on-one negotiations between the US and Russia, saying such talks could serve Vladimir Putin's interests rather than achieving real peace. Speaking at the Munich Security Conference, Zelensky cautioned that Putin seeks to manipulate global leaders, referencing past US-Russia meetings and suggesting the Russian president aims to use a future encounter with the US president on Red Square as a political stunt. Zelensky also highlighted Russia's military struggles, warning that if the war ends in the wrong way, Moscow will have a surplus of battle-hardened soldiers with no purpose but violence. He stressed that peace must not be decided by a few leaders, but through collective international pressure.
We don't need that. We need real success.